Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another episode of Trudge Report. This is a recovery-based podcast, but you wouldn't always know it with the way Corey talks. But don't worry, if you're not sober or not ready to be sober, we talk about plenty of other things, including sports, trending topics, and a good bit of nonsense. A lot of nonsense, if we're being honest with each other. My name is Sean, and I'm your host. I'm joined by my good friends, fellow Trudgers, Bill, Corey, and Greg. Please remember to listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Our videos will still be posted each week, so you can watch episodes on YouTube and Facebook. But as always, please be sure to download on your listening platforms. Remember to like and subscribe on all social media outlets with the handle @TrudgeReportPod. We are brought to you by Stella Mix Podcast Management and our wonderful producer and editor, Miss Janine Stella. Miss Janine Stella is not here tonight. She's off doing probably more important things, but that's okay. The inmates are running the asylum. Gentlemen, good evening. Happy Wednesday. Just a quick note before we go around the horn. We're doing 3 episodes in about 5 days. If you've listened to the previous 2 episodes that came before this, you'll have heard me say the same thing. This episode won't be released until January 2nd, Greg. Is that correct, I believe?
That is correct.
Right. So we wish everyone, we hope that everyone had a wonderful Christmas, a happy Kwanzaa. What's the Jewish one? Hanukkah, 8 days of Hanukkah, and a very happy and blessed New Year.
Did you say Kwanzaa?
Yeah, I did. Pardon me to all my all of
What
our
else is
Jewish
there?
friends and listeners. I didn't mean to forget you guys. I really didn't.
Adam Sandler literally wrote a song about it. The most famous.
Great song. Great
Terrible
song.
Absolutely horrendous.
He was on, Chris Rock hosted SNL, Saturday Night Live, like last weekend, and he had Adam Sandler on there for a few skits. The skits were horrible. Like, really, they weren't even that funny. But, like, just the fact that the two of them were back together and he was, like, doing his patented voice was just brought back so many good memories. But skits were kind of bad. So get it together, Chris Rock and Adam Sandler. But anyways, this will air in January. Let's go
Who's
around.
more overrated,
Let's start
Adam
with Bill.
Sandler or David Spade?
Overrated. Yeah, David.
Yeah,
Spade,
David
but-
Spade.
I
right?
think both of them are properly rated, no?
Well,
Yes.
David Spade?
I think they're both properly rated. I mean, I love Adam Sandler. I don't know if I'd call
He's
David
great.
Spade overrated. Corey,
What was he-
hold
what
on,
was he
guys.
funny
Corey
in?
wants to say something.
no, I don't. I got nothing.
Oh,
What
okay.
are you talking
I'll
about?
say something. I'll say, because I kind of see where you may be heading with this, where a lot of Adam Sandler's movies, he kind of fell into the stereotypical, the typecasting of the same way Will Ferrell did or Zach Galifianakis, where they're kind of playing the same.
Seth Rogen.
But he's better than
Seth
all
Rogen.
of them.
But he is, and he stood the test of time. And if you ever want to, even just say like, well, he's terrible at comedy or whatever, maybe it's not your brand of comedy, go watch a movie called Uncut Gems if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That
Good
dude
one.
turns in
Yeah.
a performance that
You're right. Touche.
bar none. So,
But I still think Adam
And he-
Sandler is like, I don't know if better is the right word, but he's definitely more popular. He definitely was more like successful and all that stuff for sure.
yeah.
But okay, let's just do this because you guys are right. Actually, Happy Gilmore. I mean, there's classics. David Spade though. What is he funny in?
Joe
I
Dirt.
don't
Joe
find the guy
Dirt
funny.
was good.
Oh, Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt was funny. Okay.
He was hilarious in like Tommy Boy too. It's just a very specific type of like humor to Greg's point. But it might not
Okay.
be for everybody either.
Oh, there's another one.
I used to get him and Dana Carvey confused all the time. Like all the time growing up. I used to get the two of them confused. But
Can I ask you guys an Adam Sandler question?
sure.
This whole episode can be about Adam Sandler. I don't care. What do you guys think? A lot of people say that Click was like the start of his bad movies, and I love Click.
I'd have to
That's
see a
decent.
breakdown of when they all came out. I do think that there was a turning point there somewhere, and I don't know if it's bad, but because I'm a huge Billy Madison fan, as you guys know, and like those Billy Madison, Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore, like those were all very specific
Deeds.
types of movies. I would even put Mr. Deeds in another, like a separate category from Billy Madison and those. They were very specific types of movies,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, agreed. I don't care for like
50 First Dates and all
grown
that. Like,
ups
they
and
were
shit. 50 First Dates was great. That was a great movie.
I thought
Mr.
it
Deeds
just
was
all right.
bad.
It's a great movie.
I thought they were all
Big Daddy
just
was
all right.
bad.
Or
Big Daddy wasn't bad. Don't
Big
say
Daddy's a great
blasphemy.
The
film.
Wedding Singer was bad.
That's
What?
I put that
Wow.
one in with Billy Madison. Happy. That was the fourth one I was thinking
Absolutely.
of.
The
That's
Wedding
Billy
Singer is
Singer?
phenomenal.
Oh, the Wedding Singer is great, dude. Are you kidding me with the hair,
What
bro?
about
Yes.
Punch Drunk Love?
That's
Oh,
stupid.
dude.
That
Okay.
movie's I don't even know the point of that movie.
Can I say something about that movie real quick?
Yeah.
We talked. Yeah, can I say something, Sean? Okay. We we talked recently about like movies or shows or whatever that you were watching when you were like detoxing. Like, wasn't that on like an episode or two ago? Right.
Yeah.
Punch Drunk Love. I have horrible memories attached to that movie.
Yes.
In Addiction, waking up in nods throughout the night and stuff, and that movie was just on for some reason.
Such a weird movie.
And it's so damn weird. Like it felt like I was living in a dream waking up to that movie.
I feel like as a movie buff and a cinema guy and whatever, I feel almost embarrassed to say I've never made it past the first 10 minutes of that movie. I turned it off. I was like, this is terrible.
It's so bad.
I have chills right now. It's bad. It's a weird time in my life.
Very weird.
So,
you know what else was a bad movie? That Adam Sandler movie? Spanglish.
I never saw it.
Never saw it.
Spanglish was dumb.
Yeah, it didn't.
I'm pretty sure it's about him falling in love with his Spanish housekeeper or something like that. It was dumb.
Okay, that's cultural appropriation.
David Spade.
That was something.
The Benchwarmers. Benchwarmers was good. Remember that?
Yeah. I remember.
Anyway, Adam
Sandler.
Sandler.
When I see him in a commercial, David Spade. I mean, he's just.
Remember that he had the Hanukkah song, which was great. But do you remember he had the other one?
He had albums.
Well, I know, but there was the one. I have a secret. A secret. He sounds like that. He sounds like a little fruity, and he's going. He's giving little hints, and then it stops in the chorus. And he goes, "I trim my bush," and it's just like that's the whole chorus. I trim my bush. It's just it was the greatest song.
There's a lot of good ones.
That's
Such
the worst.
a good song, dude.
It's terrible.
He's the goat.
It was really good. Yeah,
he's the goat. And he wears sweatpants. He just wears sweatpants around and just.
He did.
Doesn't care.
He did a really funny and good. It was like good and funny on about Chris Farley on Netflix about like his death and all that. It was really funny.
Yeah,
so,
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Chris Farley. That dude was something else. That whole era, I think that was the best era of SNL.
Hands down.
Tim Meadows, David Spade, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, that whole
Will Ferrell towards the end where he was at the end doing like the
and then like Jimmy Fallon and them came in. But I think those original before Ferrell and Fallon and all them, those were
what about
greatest.
What about the one with the opposite show with Jim Carrey and the Wayans brothers? I mean, that shit was funny too.
In Living Color.
No. It was a live show like SNL.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Living Color.
Was it called In Living Color?
I'm pretty sure.
With Damon
Jim
Wayans and Marlon
the
Wayans,
Vanilla Ice
Jim
and
Carrey.
Yeah.
That shit's hilarious.
Yeah.
Now
that's like
talent, boys.
To me, that's like the Beatle and the Rolling Stones. Like it's kind of like pick which one's better. You know what I mean?
Everyone has a side. Yeah.
Exactly.
Little known fact. That's where J-Lo got her big
in
break.
Living Color. Yeah.
She was a backup dancer. She was one of the stage girls.
Yeah. Things are tough for J-Lo right now.
Why?
Too many Diddy
That whole
parties.
clique, dude. That whole clique. They're all going down, dude. Everybody's
Diddler
going
got
down
her.
in flames with the diddler. Boy, get him.
He said, if I'm going down, you guys are all coming with me. So, all right, guys. Well, Greg, how was the symphony, dude?
Dude, it was amazing. It was amazing.
We may have thrown one more shot on Monday. I'm sorry, but
Dude, and nothing gets edited.
What do you mean?
You'll hear it.
It was mostly me, Greg.
It's not bad.
Fantastic.
It's not that bad.
I was on one.
So the symphony was awesome. Shout out to my girlfriend, man. She hooked it up with tickets. It was not me. It was not my idea. Nothing like that. And it was really good. It wasn't an entire orchestra. It was I would think like 18 to 20 people. But yeah, it was an all candlelit. And it was they just did rock songs. So like, nice. They played like System of a Down. They did Motorhead, Stairway to Heaven. Aerosmith was in there.
Kind of like that. What's the orchestra?
Similar,
Trans-Siberian, kind of like a little rocky.
It was like that. Kind of. It was very, very cool, man. The musicians were phenomenal. And the song selection was great. It was a really good time.
Cool, man. Good stuff.
We were
What else?
very supportive.
What else we got going on? Corey, what do you got going on, bud?
Nothing.
Not a lot since Monday.
No, dude. I'm tired. For anybody listening, this is our last episode until next year. Get it?
Yes.
You get it?
I think we just talked about that in the beginning of this show.
Yeah, I've had enough of you guys this week, though. I'm definitely checked out. I'm ready for 3 weeks off. This has become a full-time job. I said it 2 nights ago.
Yeah, it's been a busy week with podcasts, but it's all right. It's all good. Hey, listen, guys, if we ever want to hit it big, we got to put in the work. That's it.
I just don't want anybody bitching at us, you know? Our
For
fans,
what?
they're hungry. They want content.
Oh, well, they're going to get it.
I mean, we definitely brought the content the last 2 episodes, and I'm sure we will this one.
Here's some
Content hasn't been the problem.
real quick,
Just
because
my
by the
attitude.
time this episode airs, this will have supposedly taken effect, but I wanted to get your guys' take on it. But as of January 1st, I read an article this morning, as of January 1st in Florida, no more Pornhub.
Perfect.
Oh, that's fine.
Pornhub is
I love it.
outlawed in Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yep. I'm sorry to say, Corey.
What?
So I
Corey
was
hops
reading
off the
this- so-
podcast and goes start downloading shit.
I need more
Hey,
bandwidth.
Why do we have 1,500 gigabytes downloaded on the internet this month?
What?
He's got 8 hard drives just in a.
He's got a
just working
Diddy-sized
overtime.
file fucking in his closet.
It's just smoking. No,
He's
so
got Bitcoin operation fucking size computer.
oh man. So Merry Christmas. But yeah, so I guess though it's like Florida is joining with which several other states already do it, but they put legislation in to where if you want to view adult stuff on the internet, you have to like scan in a copy of your ID. And
What?
or yeah, like you have to do it. You have
Well,
to
it is
prove that
subjected
you're
to
of age.
minors. I mean, let's do it.
Absolutely. And
Wait Damn.
and yeah, so Florida is passing that legislation, I
Why
guess.
is Sean the second
and,
most offended one here?
And
I'm not. I don't use that website. I'm
that
good.
particular website,
Xvideos, yeah.
I have a
said,
go-to.
yeah, they said no, we're good. We don't want to have to make people do that.
We don't like Pornhub in Florida.
Yep. So
I'm trying to figure out a way to search this to see if it's real without
Well-
anything crazy coming up. But
Yeah, be careful. Hey, I know a guy that works for that can fix you.
give you
On a VPN.
basically it's the Fire Stick version of porn. So for you.
my problem is like this is America. I thought, you know, I
Big
don't know.
government, guys.
Yeah, dude. What the
Yep.
fuck?
Big government, dude.
But you know, I don't. Yeah. Well,
If you want to watch porn, go scan your ID in there. I mean, like, let's
I
protect
don't
the
want
kids a
people
little
knowing who I
bit.
am.
And they kind of do already know like where you're logging on from. It's not like
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
a secret, you know. But that's
Wow.
fine.
Well, I'll,
looks like
subscribe
it's
on my
back
hands,
to
guys.
looks like it's back to
Real
CD
sex on
shops and yeah, or like actually having to go into the shop and get a couple VHS tapes for
Remember-
Well,
yourself.
point me to the nearest Blockbuster, Greg.
Remember real sex.
Remember,
Go hit the lines down.
I don't know if Corey remembers, but boys, like you remember how like you go into like Blockbuster or Family Video, and then they'd have that like little curtained off section in the back.
Mine was always in Virginia. Was always a locked glass case.
Oh, they had it locked up.
Dude, that shit is so awkward, bro. I would you'd never fucking do that.
But like the type of person that's going to Blockbuster to get that, they don't care.
No, they don't.
They don't care how
It's
awkward
just-
it is. They're
it's
just
just
like,
nerd,
oh,
nerd,
can you open
nerd,
this?
dude.
Come on.
Yeah, no, it's just like 12-year-old me like poking my head in there, like, oh, what's in
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, this episode is airing after the new year, huh?
Yeah.
We're
So
gonna title this R.I.P. Pornhub.
When I got to the halfway house, there was a very small TV in the room that I slept in with a built-in VHS into it. You guys remember those? Like small.
oh
I'm
yeah,
talking about
yeah.
like, I mean, not big at all. And there was already a VHS porno in there. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
That was that like the community porno?
I think so. It might have been, dude. I don't remember. I just remember.
Whoa, dude, for real?
I remember being so like out of like a fish out of water, not knowing what's going on at this
He just
halfway
rips
house.
the VCR off the TV and takes it in his room. Realizes he doesn't have a TV in his room.
No, it was already in there. It was built in.
This
It was
is
like
the setup thing.
It was
right?
like the TV with the VHS deck built into it, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
And I remember like just pressing the eject button just to see, and like out popped this porno. It was like caveman porn. I don't know. It was very weird. It was very, very weird. I'll never forget it.
this is bullshit, guys. Like
I was pissed.
first thing. I'm just saying. First thing that comes up is
Corey's like, please don't be real. Please don't be real. Damn it.
it says, and I quote: "Floridians won't be ringing in the new year with a visit to Pornhub." Like, they don't gotta phrase it like that, dude. That's crazy.
Oh man.
That's wild.
Well, here's a transition for you.
Gabby's in
Greg-
the other room, like, what the fuck?
Greg, what are we talking about tonight?
We're gonna do a little deep dive here.
All right.
As you guys know, it's that time of year again, right? The holidays are once again upon us, and with that brings millions of people traveling across the country. So I thought it'd be a perfect time for another lesson in etiquette and common sense, considering every time I travel, I observe both of those to be quite lacking. Most of this kind of just boils down to being situationally aware when you're out in the public domain. But as we all know from previous segments, this seems to be kind of an lost art as of late. So, for the purposes of limited attention span, I've divided this into 4 basic sections, right? So we got arriving at the airport and checking in, right? We've got on the concourse and the art of waiting in line, the air up there, which is boarding, flying, and deplaning, and of course, leaving the airport, right? And you guys can feel to chime in, or I'll just let it rip, and then we'll talk about it more afterwards. But
Greg, I would never talk over you, just so you know.
I appreciate
Isn't
that, Sean.
so nice of you?
I read a lot of prestigious articles. When I was doing my research for this, I polled some
Nobody
people.
reads as much as I do.
Nobody reads as much as I do. I read the most. Yeah, I polled some people and asked a lot of questions on like, well, what are your big things, right? Because everybody's got a thing. Everybody's got a story from an airport. So, all right. So, before getting to the airport, or before entering the airport, I should say, people prep your stuff. This is the big thing, man. And sometimes I get it, dude. I'm taking an early morning flight. I'm packing the night before, trying to remember everything. But get your stuff. Make sure it's prepped. Everybody that's been in a departures line outside of an airport knows that it's just an absolute madhouse, right? Not only does everybody forget how to operate a motor vehicle suddenly up 30 seconds prior to pulling up, but they also completely forget how to act civilized, right? So make sure you got your shit packed, have it in an easily accessible spot in the car, right? And then that way, when somebody pulls up and you can hop out and you grab your stuff, and the 6 family members that pile out of the car with you, and they all got to like stand in line and like give you your little goodbyes, and we love you so much, and we'll see you in 3 days and whatever. Like, just let's keep it moving here, folks. Like the quicker we can move that along, the quicker the 2,600 cars behind us can pull up and do the same thing, right? Grab your shit, say your I love yous, and keep it moving, right?
Some of those people could be flying to Chicago, Greg.
So what?
The war zone. Anyway,
I mean, true,
digress.
but hey, if you're flying to Chicago, you better be ready. Don't let them catch you lacking, right?
BD.
All right, so getting into the airport, obviously this time of year, most airports are going to have long lines, right? It's the inevitability of it. So, as most of you know, the internet exists, right? if you're still one of those people that loves to print the internet, I feel really bad for you. But like nowadays, every airline
No, you
has
don't.
I like to print
apps.
my ticket. I like to have a paper ticket.
Well, but the thing is, all right, so not only does every airline have an app nowadays where you can literally just check in on your phone prior to ever even getting to the airport, download your boarding pass, have that shit ready to go. But on the off chance that you don't want to do that, you're a little old fashioned, whatever, cool. They got the little kiosks there where you can do the exact same thing, right? You don't even have to interact with a human anymore if you don't want to, right? You can do it right there. You can even at some of those like pay for your checked baggage right then and there, and sometimes there's a dude that'll just come grab it from you and take it. But
Just
you
make
gotta
sure
wait
he
on-
works for the airline.
Yeah, well that is
That's such a good come up.
it's but yeah, it's not that difficult. It's waiting in line. I get it. It sucks. Whatever. One big thing, and we'll get to this a little bit later on why this is important, but they say it for a reason, dude. One carry-on, one personal item. You're not going on a road trip. It's a couple hours worth of a flight, or at the most, if you are flying international, like maybe 8 hours on a plane. Like you don't need any more than that on the plane with you, right? Now there's times where I fly down to Florida for just a weekend. I pack everything in the backpack. I don't do check bags. I'm not paying for all that. I'm just boom, backpack, head straight to it, which makes it even easier because I don't even have to go to that section of the airport at all. I walk into the airport and boom, I'm in the TSA line, right? Which brings me to the TSA line. This does not change, okay? It is the same thing every time you go to the airport, and somehow everybody fucking forgets. They forget how it works, right? But you get up to the TSA line, have your ID with you, right? Have it with you. You got to have it to be in the airport. Make sure you got it before you go. Have it in your hand with your boarding pass. The little guy who hates his job is going to look at it. He's going to, da-da-da-da. He's going to keep you moving. And then when you get to that TSA line, when they're getting ready to screen you, you know what the drill is. At least I can say for dudes. I don't even ever pay attention to what the chicks are doing, but I'm pretty sure it's the same thing for everybody. Shoes off. Belt off, right? Put them in a little bin. Your laptop's got to come out of your bag. You roll it through. You stay with your stuff while it's on the belt. You get into the line. You go get scanned. You come out the other side. It is so simple, right?
Okay,
But
here's the deal, Greg. They don't have to be so damn mean about it, though.
Well, dude, if that was your job, just essentially like treating Americans like cattle all day long and just witnessing stupidity on end for 8 hours, I might not be the happiest.
You ever see that reel?
I can see both sides of it.
You ever see that reel go around where it's like, it's a TSA guy just yelling, "You've got a hoodie on, take it off.
Take it off."
They're so mean.
But dude, I love the ones that have fun with it. There are people that have fun.
There
with
are
it
a few good ones,
and get everybody clapping and whatnot, whatever. But yeah, here's the whole thing. It does not change. It is something that stays the same. The only thing you have to change is what line they're telling you to get in. That is it. Everything else remains the same, and all you really have to do is just open your ears and listen, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, you get through, you get your shit. Here's another thing, and it seems to happen all the time. Don't stop. Like, okay, so when you go to the end of the little ramp to get your bin of stuff in the airport, that is not where you put all your shoes and stuff back on. They got tons of benches outside of that. Walk over to a bench, put your shoes on, put your belt on, get your stuff, whatever, and throw the bin back. Like, it's not that hard. But again, it comes down to situational awareness that people just don't have, you know what I'm saying? And so now you're blocking everything in everyone's path just so you can take your time to make your little rabbit ears and tie your shoes nice and tight like a jerk off, okay? All right, so we've made it past TSA. We've got our boarding pass. Maybe it's printed, maybe it's on the phone, who knows, right? But now we're in the terminal, we're in the concourse, right? Now, if you're me, like I always, like an idiot sometimes, but I show up to the airport early, even when I don't have to. And like, I guess it depends on what's going on, what time of year it is, what time of day it is, and what airport you're in. But I always show up to early, and like Cleveland, man, I am like usually, even if the line's crazy long, I'm in to the concourse within 15 to 20 minutes. It's crazy. However, Corey and I were out with a couple other guys. We're out in Washington for Labor Day, flying out of Seattle. And I mean, what do we wait? We had to buy Clear, or we had to sign up for Clear.
We got a free trial, and if we didn't do that, we would have missed our flight.
We would have missed our flight. We were there like 4 hours early.
It was wild.
It was wild. We didn't print the pass, but we had them there. But yeah, we had to do the free trial scam Clear thing. So,
oh my god, another thing that sucks about Seattle.
Yeah, that place was packed. Yeah. So yeah, but it pays to show up early. Yeah, so what? You're stuck in a concourse for a little bit. I always bring a tablet or at least my headphones and my phone and just turn on some YouTube or watch a movie or something like that.
Trust me, you'd rather be there early than late.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, a couple things about while you're in the actual concourse, right? Number one, the people that are working at these places in the concourse, man, like they're the same kind of people that, like, give them the benefit of the doubt. They got a crazy ass job. They got to deal with a lot of people in a given day, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't get what you're paying for or whatever, but like, don't be upset with the guy who works the fucking counter at the airport Dunkin' Donuts, okay? Like, and don't treat him like shit. They're all trying. They're probably just as understaffed as everywhere else you go. But yeah, don't give those people a hard time. If you do, you're just the worst kind of person. Again, walking, situational awareness. Pay attention when you walk. I'm looking at you guys. This is going to sound a little judgmental, but if you're bringing kids to the airport, watch your freaking kids, man.
Yeah,
like,
I get it.
I thought it was like you were allowed to leave them.
Not judgmental. I get it.
But how many times are you walking through an airport and like little kids are just running? Where are your parents? Like, just running around like crazy. Drinking in the airport.
Stop. Hey, hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Stop walking down the hallways of an airport in your phone like this. Pay attention to where you're going.
And then
Look
you just
ahead
stop.
Of you. Right. Like,
and then you just stop. And then everybody behind you has to navigate around you. Right. Drinking in an airport. Right. No, and certainly in years past, I've been very guilty of getting hammered at an airport, but I can say wholeheartedly, like, know your limits, right? Because if you're getting smashed in the airport and then I got to be the unlucky guy that's sitting next to you or near you on a plane, or where we got to sit on the tarmac forever and go back to the gate while we have to deplane because you're too drunk to be on a plane, dude, I'm not going to be happy. But yeah, don't be that guy. The internet lasts forever, so don't end up on it.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
use headphones.
Not everything on the internet lasts.
Well, not
forever,
everything,
but whatever.
Well, it depends on where you're at.
Pornhub doesn't apparently.
Use headphones, and for the love of God, get off speaker. I can't stand people.
Oh, that one bothers me too.
The people that, like, why are you in public talking on speaker on your phone? It's a phone. Put it up to your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, and use headphones. Like, nobody wants to watch your video with you, but a waiting area, or maybe a little sit down area or a bar where you're sitting and eating food is not a makeshift office. So stop sprawling your shit out everywhere. And also the waiting areas at the gate. There's one seat there for you. Take up the one seat. You don't need 6 seats for all your baggage. If you got that much baggage, reference the previous thing. You should have checked some of that, like, because you shouldn't be bringing all that on a plane. Great time for a smell check, right? Because if you can smell yourself, then odds are you fucking stink. Okay. It's a good time. Head to the bathroom, throw some deodorant on, because don't be that guy that's just stinking the plane up, man. I mean, it's just you gotta know. We all know, when we are not as fresh as we could be, right? So use the bathroom, freshen up. Even if you got to use some airport soap to wash under your pits, whatever you got to do, just get it done before you get on the plane, right? All right. Here's a big thing, man, and I don't get it. I don't understand.
Hold on, are we on the plane yet?
We're getting ready to get on the plane.
Okay,
we're lining up.
Okay.
Right, we're lining up.
You might take what I'm thinking of. Go ahead.
These people, man. Okay, so as far as I know, all major airlines that I've flown over the past, I don't know, decade or whatever, when you check in and either you download your boarding pass or you print your boarding pass, you are in a boarding zone. Sometimes it's letters, sometimes it's numbers. Okay, I know that might throw some people off. We didn't learn our letters and numbers.
Southwest does the lineup thing.
Well, Southwest does do the lineup because they gotta feel like they're fucking special. Okay, and then
you don't feel special when you're in that line.
I do not at all. That's why
backpack slapping you in the face.
I do not fly the old Southwest for that
stupid backpack
reason.
out of my face, bud.
When I book a flight, I want to know what seat I'm on. Call me crazy, whatever. I need to know what seat I'm on.
I like the open seating when they had it, but it gets weird if you're like one of the last ones on the plane and you gotta go search for a seat.
Right,
like, that sucks.
right.
But if you're one of the first ones, it's great.
It might come as a surprise to some, but I have never been the stature of man that belongs in the middle seat on a plane ever. So, that just doesn't work for me. But yeah, they assign you a number. That's your boarding zone. Okay. So when they're calling zone 1 and you're zone 5, there's no need for you to be up here. There's no need.
Guys,
You're
they cram up there.
down.
Everybody, look, I saw that. The secret of the pros. Go sit your ass over all the way away from everybody. Be the last motherfucker on the plane. Why do you want to rush onto a plane that's an assigned seat? Go last. Like, who cares? I'm not rushing to go have your backpack slap me in the face and your little snotty
bin
kid.
storage.
If you need bin storage, that's the problem. But again,
Don't do it.
That's
Be a
also
smart traveler.
That's also the problem with everybody and their selfish shit. Because if it was one carry-on and one personal item, there wouldn't ever be an issue with bin storage. There's enough bins on the plane for those people. But there are selfish people. But again, if you're in a boarding zone and they're not going to call you for another 5 to 10 minutes, why are you crowding around the gate area? Get out of the way, because then I got to go and have the conversation. Are you in zone 2? Did they call zone 3 yet? What zone are you in? Like, no, I just want to get in line and go. That's what I want to do.
And they cram it, and they will. And then it's like, you got to be like, excuse me, pardon me, sorry. And they like look at you like you're trying to skip them. Like, no, I'm on this one.
Yeah. And don't make me pull out the boarding pass. I'll pull it out on you. Yeah, I'm zone 1. Okay, back up. Okay,
See,
I'm one step down from active duty serviceman. Okay, so let me on this plane. Okay,
that's why I just board with the pores in zone 5.
Me too. I'm with you, Corey.
So okay, and then again, so now hopefully we've made it past the gate. We're getting ready. We're getting onto the plane.
Like PTSD from this, dude.
Flight attendants are saying we're saying our hellos to the flight attendants, right? We're getting on the plane. People, it's real simple, man. If you got anything bigger than a backpack, find a bin, throw the shit up there. Hopefully you got everything you need to make your 47-minute flight, that you don't need to have anything out of your baggage. Throw it up there, get in your seat. It's not that difficult. I feel for people that, like I know Corey's described it before. I know you guys have all talked about it actually, but like flying with the kids, it does suck, in its own kind of way. So, I mean, I'll give parents and stuff like that, like leniency.
Let's give a shout out to the flight attendants. I mean,
absolutely.
They go through hell, man.
Absolutely.
Sean had a great little routine with the flight attendants that he taught me when you get on, because Mama S is there. When you get on, you bring them a little candy. You give them a smile, ask them how their day's going. They love it, man. They were coming up to us like we were VIP, dude. Yeah, they were. Do you need another drink? Like I'm telling you.
I might feel like creepy. Like, hey, do you want some candy? Like,
Nah,
You give him a little
Sean's a stud. He
box of
pulled it off.
chocolates. Yeah.
It didn't seem creepy.
All
He
thanks
low.
to my mom. She's the one that gave the ideas. Like,
okay,
do
all
this,
right,
do that. Like, yeah, they like that stuff.
all right, good to know.
They like that stuff.
Dude, $3 candy bar. We got the VIP like $300 treatment, so we were good to go.
However,
we didn't have to pay for those blankets and pillows, dude.
No, they were blessing it. They were
Here's the deal,
"You need
though.
Another pillow.
Tip for the flight attendants: please do not fight with each other
Oh, Tim.
as if there's no passengers on the plane.
Yeah,
because that makes
that gets
for
a
a
little
very
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
I've never
flight.
seen that. I've never seen
One
that.
time.
People are already
Frontier.
on edge.
Frontier.
Shout out Frontier. So yeah, get your luggage stowed, get in your seat, act like you've done this before, act like you've been in public. You know, and again, it's not that hard. We're boiling down to numbers and letters here. Okay. If you're seat 7A, they got it. It's printed right there. Get in 7A, dude. Don't be the guy that's got to like, now I got to have the uncomfortable conversation because you're in my seat because you can't read your letters and numbers right. Okay. Find your seat, get in it, right?
Well, the best is when the middle seat person is like on one of the other seats in hopes that there isn't somebody for
Right.
You know what I mean? Get in the middle seat where you belong.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. During the flight. So this is the big thing, right?
Don't open
I
the
guess-
emergency door.
Well, yeah, definitely don't do that. The reclining of the seat. There seems to be a very differing opinion of the reclining of the seat, but depending on who you ask. I am of the opinion that the reclining button is there for a reason, right? So I'm not offended if the person in front of me reclines their seat. They only recline
It doesn't recline that
2
far.
inches, 2-3 inches, something like that. I don't care about that, right? But as far as like all the stuff I've seen, all the stuff I've read, the kicking of the seats. Everybody's been on one of those flights where the annoying kid behind you is kicking the seat. Like that just gets crazy. I've never had this happen to me, but I promise you, if I ever am sitting in my seat, my little window seat, minding my own business, and some ignorant person's foot comes up over my seat and in my general vicinity, I will 100% promise you that's the last thing you're ever going to do with that foot. Okay. Without question. And I will get charged with a federal offense on an aircraft. Okay. You're not going to put your foot in my face, bro.
That is pretty bad.
And people do it. Like you see videos.
Wait a minute. To you, someone did that?
No. I said it's never
seriously,
happened.
I would get out
Greg
of my
wouldn't
seat.
be here.
Yeah.
I'd be in prison.
Greg would be in.
Snap your fucking leg on that seat.
You're
Oh,
also
Like
you're
we're
also,
tall. Like you can't be like you gotta like I posture myself very uninvitingly. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm just like I make myself look uncomfortable for a reason. Someone's just like this guy's having it rough.
A little rough around the edges.
I better leave this guy alone.
Oh my god. But yeah,
I might start wearing prison jumpsuit on the plane or something. Look like I'm traveling or something.
I'm also of the opinion, man, like you should probably keep your shoes on during the flight. I know some people differ on that as well.
we talked about
I'm not
this
the kind of
before.
guy. I'm not
Let's
the kind
talk
of
about
guy.
this, Greg, because
I don't take my shoes off.
Listen, I've always been a shoe off guy. I tuck them, under the seat. I'm not flailing them around or anything, but I nicely tuck them discreetly. But I'm sure some people have seen just me and my socks on the old plane. But I always wear brand new socks. I usually have semi-new shoes. It looks, it doesn't look dangerous. So probably wrong though. It's probably wrong.
I think if you're again back to the smell and fresh thing. Do you smell fresh or do you smell funky? If you smell funky, keep them in the.
I've spritzed a little cologne, not too much. We've set an ambiance in the cabin.
Just wear slides, socks and slides.
See, that's a good excuse to do that. You're right.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Sean, do you wear just the sandals with no socks? Or
No, when I'm at the airport, I'll do socks and slides.
Yeah, because then
or tennis shoes, and I just won't take them off.
I've been in the uncomfortable thing where like I forget that I'm just wearing Hey Dudes with no socks, and then you got
on a plane.
no, and then like you get to because it's hot in Florida. I'm a big guy. My feet sweat a little bit.
Doesn't no socks and Hey Dudes make your feet sweat more?
I love no socks with Hey Dudes. Like Hey Dudes are my new sandals. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
But I'll get to the TSA line and then I'm like, oh crap. Oh crap. Now I got to walk barefoot like a hobbit through the TSA line. Everybody's looking at me. So,
that's not good.
So yeah, I
I
haven't
usually
taken my
wear
own
socks
advice
and
there.
slides.
So then you guys are of this thought that socks are fine because I mean your feet are out.
But socks are. But if they're in slides, they're already out.
Are they staying in the slide, or are you pulling
not
them out of the
necessarily. Not
slide and
necessarily.
placing them?
I don't.
If I'm
No,
wearing slides, I'll take them off.
I'll take them off. But
So
here's
what's the
thing.
difference?
Big difference.
They're not in
Big
shoes.
difference. They're not in
Getting all
shoes.
smelly and hot.
Cooking and getting hot and smelly.
Yeah.
My shoes look fresh, man. You like, this guy didn't
look,
have
might
those
look
shoes that
deceiving,
long.
Bill.
So yeah, and so obviously to yeah, don't bring any stinky food on the plane with you. You know,
no onions,
nothing like that. No sandwich bags of curry or anything like that.
Leave
that.
I've flown with
No
like
Baba
5
Ganoush.
cheesesteaks before, so whatever.
You have, yeah. Treat the flight attendants well, man. They're just people just like us,
Right.
and they've, I mean, if you think your little 2-hour flight is stressful, imagine being them all day long. And they go, days or sometimes weeks on end without seeing their families and stuff like that. And along with that, no matter what kind of scenario you've got cooked up in your head, bro, I can 100% assure you with all sincerity, you're not going to bang that flight attendant on the flight in the bathroom. It's not going to happen. Okay. That only happens in movies, and
On
usually the
Pornhub.
type of movies that, yes, are not going to be
Pornhub,
available to Floridians.
Un-American and unconstitutional, but whatever.
But yeah, dude, don't hit on it. Like, you know
That
what?
may or may not be in my search bar.
If she really finds you attractive and really, really, wants to engage with you, I'm sure that she will do it on her own accord without any help from you. So, get it out.
Have you seen the video of these random people in the Mile High Club getting caught? And they like bust the door open?
Yeah, like couples, right?
Yeah, but it's
like,
still wild as hell. Like
yeah. I
On a
don't know.
commercial flight.
I mean, that's
on a
like,
commercial flight, right?
it's like, hey, babe, do you want to go bang in the smallest, smelliest closet imaginable? It's
So
like,
in
why?
Vegas, they have a plane that you can rent it just a 2-person, and they'll take you up to the Mile High Club. So do that. Have some fucking couth.
They probably
It's only $4,000.
That thing probably smells like Badoozy.
All right, couple things left before I
curry.
wrap this sucker up.
Smells like Funyuns.
Okay, so when the plane lands, no matter what the flight's been like, when the plane lands, don't be the fucking people that clap. Okay, it's so lame. It's so lame.
But have you ever been on a flight that was so bad that you didn't
Yes,
clap, but
yes,
you're like
I have.
with it? You're like, yeah, guys.
Well,
clap.
yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad I made it through that alive. But yeah, that'd be like, if one of us was like really busy at work or did something that was just our regular run of the mill jobs, and then you had like a crew of people come in and
I
give you
balanced the
applause.
bank wreck.
Yeah.
Nice.
Corey, balance that wreck, dude.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's great.
so
I
Covered
want
for a
that
couple
actually.
days.
Do not clap, bro. Okay, it's the guy. That's what they get paid for. They get paid to make sure you don't die in their care. Okay,
And they're trained pretty good.
yes, they are. Getting up and deplaning is not hard unless we all fucking make it hard. Okay, so, dude, it's very simple. The front of the plane, the aisle, the people in the aisle, it's single file. It's single file, right? Row 1 on both sides, row 2 on both sides, and further on. But like the people that get up, they rush the aisle. The people are like frantic. Oh, I got to make sure that my carry-on, even though it's been in my eyesight this entire time, nobody touched it, nobody did anything to it. Like it's crazy. It's like mob mentality.
They're the same people that line up outside of their boarding zone.
Exactly.
It is the same people.
Yes,
I
it's
almost
the same
the
people
last
every
flight
time.
I was on, there was almost a fight over somebody just.
We're all
Pouring
going to
it.
get out of the plane, and we will all get out at a pretty quick clip if we all just follow the system. The system is in place for a reason because it works, right? picking up your bags from the carousel, kind of the same thing too. Like there's no need to crowd all in one little bottleneck around this baggage carousel, man. Stand back a couple feet, and like the thing is they'll crowd around it and it's not even moving. There's no fucking bags on the thing. And people are like on it, like just staring at this carousel that's not moving. Give it some time. Everybody's bag's going to come out. They're all going to be in a little line, right? And I know that 90% of us have black travel bags. It's fine, but you're going to get your bag and then you'll be on your way, right? And getting picked up from the airport, same thing, right? Like I am one of those enlightened people where I either rent a car or, sometimes like I remember Sean's come pick me up from the airport or whatever. Get in the car, keep it moving, man. The arrival section and the departure section of an airport are insane madhouses, right? Do what you got to do, throw your bags in, get in the car, keep it moving, right? So yeah, that's what I got, man. But yeah, airport etiquette is perfect for this time of year, perfect for any time of the year. Manners maketh man, gentlemen.
Love it.
The victory comes from the Lord.
Victory comes from horses prepare for battle.
Oh, that's what it was.
But victory comes from the Lord.
That's right, baby.
Oh, that's from what movie was that, Greg?
Jameis Winston.
No. The thing you said, manners maketh man.
Oh, that is from The Kingsman.
That's right. That's a great
Very
movie.
nice. Very nice. All right, good stuff. Thank you, Greg. I know that's something you've been working on for a while and been wanting to do for a while. Bill, you want to go ahead with the reading you've picked out?
The reading, yeah. Let's do it. 2 pro tips real quick. Global entry pass, number 1. I submitted my application. It's still been in review for a few months. Probably a lot to review.
They're fucking digging into your background, sir.
Once we get there, though, I'm going to be made. And then also, I think I need to get like a randomly colored bag. Greg just inspired me with that. Like, why not? Like, if you're going to go, like, why sit there and be like, is that my bag?
I'm thinking of turquoise for you, Billy. I think that really brings out your
cotton
eyes.
candy, baby, whatever. We could do it. So, all right. So I picked the Lord's Prayer, boys. Came up with this all on my own.
You mean Saint Francis prayer?
Oh, excuse me, Saint Francis prayer. I read it so many times that I fucking forgot what it was. All right, Saint Francis prayer. Simple prayer. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there's injury, pardon. Where there is discord, harmony. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is by giving that we receive, it is by pardoning that we are pardoned, and dying we are born in eternal life. Yeah, so the phenomenon of paradox in that statement, right? Because in that whole prayer is really what it is. Because any other time in my life, it's before 30 years old, I would read that and be like, that makes absolutely no sense. Why would you do the opposite to get an opposite result? Like, 2 negatives equal a positive doesn't really make sense if I really try to think about it. So it wasn't until I learned, and it was probably first by teaching others in recovery, the methods of recovery, that I learned the process of recovery so much more clearly, and I began to recover so much more clearly. So that I saw that, and in this prayer where it says, if I pardon others, I am pardoned. If I help others, I am helped. Every time I help somebody, I feel a little bit more peace in myself. That's the truth. I mean, I don't know what it is about it that's so magical. I could try to quantify it with, I'm not thinking about my own problems, yada, yada, yada. But like, I really realized in helping other people, like that was a core tenet or pillar or structure or function of myself and my process. And I don't know if everybody has that. In fact, I've ran into people who are like, that doesn't make any sense to me. People who have seemingly successful lives and are happy people, but they just don't get it like that, and that's fine. Like, I think everyone has like their own purpose and position, for a reason. Maybe there's something else that they're effective at that I'm not seeing. But I know for me, being in the trenches, side by side, in those situations were the things I try to keep in my life today, because those are the original things that worked for me. So I'm not going to keep going on and on, but I mean, that to me is the core of that prayer. I love that prayer. Glad I thought of that. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you very much, Bill. That is one of the best prayers that we have, I think. And I have Corey, if you'd like to share on that next. I have you in the queue.
Yeah. All right.
Actually, I screwed that up, but it doesn't matter. I had Greg next, but it really doesn't matter.
Fine, Sean.
No, I'm sorry.
I'll go. Yeah, obviously I love that prayer too. It is a known prayer amongst the recovery community, and part of the reason that we had Sean read it at our wedding. It was an important prayer. I wanted Sean involved with it, and I don't know, something about Sean reading a prayer felt right. So that's what happened. But you know what I always liked about it is, I don't know if I'm going to phrase this anywhere near so that it's understandable, but it's a prayer that like reminds me that everything has to start with me, if that makes sense. And you know, well, I mean, basically what Bill already said, but like, you know, I need to be more focused on what I can do for others, what I can pack into the stream of life, just more of an output than what I can bring in to myself, you know. The one thing right now that's coming up in my mind is money, financial freedom, or I guess security, or at least losing the fear of financial insecurity. And like, I definitely don't say this to sound like I'm Mr. Generous, because I promise it's very small amounts. But like, whenever, like recently, I've been trying to focus on anytime I'm getting like a little too uppity about finances or whatever, and you know, I try to like put $5 into something else, you know, that's not going to benefit myself, you know what I mean? Like, at least materially or whatever. Whether it's you donate to the, I don't know, children's hospital at the Wawa register or whatever, just something.
One of Sean's made up foundations at Dunkin' Donuts.
One of those. Yeah, exactly.
Wait till you listen to last week's episode, Greg. Sorry,
I forgot about that part. Oh, look who interrupted me. Anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, and I'm serious when I say like small amounts, because I'm not out here throwing a lot of money at charity by any means, but like just something to make a step in the opposite direction of, you know, what I think I need, right, for myself and whatever. So that's kind of just what it makes me think of. It all has to start with me. You know, I gotta seek to help others, to make others better, to whatever, get outside of myself. So that's it.
Thank you, Corey. GA.
Yeah, man, I you know, echo the same sentiments from both you guys, and I love this prayer. It's certainly very important in my daily prayer life, my daily meditation life, and it really is the key. Everything in here is parts of the key to living a peaceful life and a peaceful existence, right? This is how we get it. But I love, the thing I love about this prayer is it's like the duality of man, right? So it's you know, all of our more baser instincts, and then, you know, then on the flip side of that, it's you know, everything that encompasses what it means to live a God-driven life and having God in your life daily. But it's cool too, like, to, if you know, like, the origins of this prayer, right? Because you know, it's talking about you know, Saint Francis, and here was a guy who was like, he was wealthy, and the guy renounced all of his wealth and basically developed the Franciscan order, so and lived a life of poverty to carry on the teachings of the Lord, right? And like, that's about as humble as you can get, right? So that's what it does. It reminds me to be humble, to calm down and quiet some of my baser instincts when they pop up, instead of being injurious, or when doubt or darkness or despair pops up. Don't feed into it. Don't play into that kind of stuff with other people, and try to do the opposite of those things, and my life gets a little bit better each time. So thanks.
Thank you, Greg. A famous quote, it's not famous, but it's famous to me, and it's by a man named Robert Jenkins. He told me once, Sean, when you give of yourself freely, you put yourself in the perfect position to receive. And that was one of those lessons in my early recovery that just 100% stuck with me, and like made, even in like the Mocha state and the selfish and self-centeredness that I still was, that made so much sense. And it was kind of that at that time, it was like, okay, I'm going to put this up here and strive for that. And I definitely don't do it perfectly by any stretch of the imagination, but I have achieved it at much greater lengths and with much more frequency over as the years have gone by than I, did when I was early in sobriety. And I definitely would have if I was still drinking. Corey, I'm sorry, dude. I don't mean to, this is not directed at you, but you said it starts with me. And I think that's not true. And actually the prayer starts with Lord, right? I think, and I know what you meant by that. And I'm not trying to like, but
It's got to come at me every episode we have, huh?
I'm sorry.
I was picking on Corey, man.
But I think it's a good lesson for all of us, because I think that too, like, oh, I have to be loving rather, and instead of being loved, I have to throw love out. Like, it starts with God. Everything that I should be doing starts with God, because Corey, I love what you were talking about like just giving a little bit in the, like basically putting good back in the world. And Bill's talked about this. We've all talked about this. Like, I can easily start doing those good things for me rather than giving the glory to God, and remembering that all the good things in my life are God given, and all the bad, I burped, all the bad things in my life are because of my selfish and self-centered way. So I think it starts with God. And that's why I think like a lot of the prayers, our Father, right? Lord, we have another prayer in some of our recovery literature that I'll paraphrase. It basically says, when a person offends us, we say to ourselves, God, or we say to God, this is a sick man or woman. How can I be helpful? Right? God, save me from being angry, thy will be done. Very much in the same vein of this prayer. Like, instead of getting my just desserts and getting my, like, you first after me, like, I am trying to, if I want love and affection and intimacy from my wife, I need to show her the same thing. I can't just expect it without ever verbalizing it or without showing it. If I want, same thing in the business world, wherever it may be. And the thing about spiritual principles is they hold true no matter what like walk of life you are. And sometimes we can dilute ourselves and think like, oh, in the business world, you have to be vicious and you have to be this. And sure, like, I'm not saying I'm not on Wall Street. I'm not on those big corporate CEO type stuff, but we all know like some very, very successful business people that put spiritual principles to work in that aspect of their lives. And it has done nothing but like, work out in intros for them. So I love the idea. I love how it's, the idea of like an instrument of your peace. Like, we talk about being God's instruments, being soldiers for God, being soldiers for good, right? Warriors for God, whatever the case is. And the part about, pardoning, and essentially what it is I like forgiving others, is what I need to do. Here's the funny thing. And I'll wrap with this because I've always found this fascinating. This prayer wasn't even written by him. It wasn't written by St. Francis of Assisi. It was written by,
it was written about him, right?
No, it was written in like the early 1900s, probably like the 1910s or the 1920s. It was first published by a little like French like Catholic magazine. I forget the name. I forget the literal translation of the name, but it translated into, or I forget the French name of it, but it translated into like the little bell or something like that. Like that was the translation, whatever the word in French for bell is. But it was published by this little Catholic magazine in France. And soon after that, it was put on like postcards and stuff like that. And one of the first postcards that were circulated they put a picture of St. Francis of Assisi on it. So it became associated with him. Huh. Which it really doesn't matter because it's like a beautiful prayer. And then it just like literally took off and people, associated it with him and stuff like that. But I don't know. I always find that I like that. I always like to look that kind of stuff up and I have in the past. And it's a prayer that I keep by my bed. Bill, it's a fantastic pick for tonight. I think it's a perfect way to start the new year when people are listening to this. And yeah, guys, a happy new year when this comes out. I want to thank you guys.
2 other examples of sick man prayers, Sean, real quick. Father, forgive them for they know what they're not doing, right? And then love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. I mean, it's the same concept.
Absolutely.
But that message is also like transponent through all probably religious texts in one way or another. It's like a core tenet of all of them.
And the best part about this prayer, the St. Francis prayer, is that, or known as a prayer for peace, is it's not really super religious either. Like some prayers are very, like the Hail Mary is a very religious prayer, the glory be, all that stuff. It's not super religious. So like, hopefully anyone just looking for spiritual truth can get down with it. So been an awesome year, guys. Awesome year. Any parting thoughts, closing thoughts? Corey, we love
my New Year's resolution is not to cut Corey off next year.
We love you.
Do you?
We do. Shout out to our listeners. Please like, follow, and share on all socials at Trudge Report Pod. Email us trudgereportpod@yahoo.com. Send in your mailbag requests for topics, questions, comments to any of these handles. Remember, we are all here if anyone wants to talk about recovery and our experiences, or if you are struggling with some form of addiction. Thank you again to Janine and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Special shout out to Olivia, who works with Janine, who does all of our uploads and edits and stuff like that. She's amazing. The whole podcast, Stella Mix Podcast Management team. Good night. God bless. May you trudge the road of happy destiny, and may this episode find you in a wonderful and happy new year. We'll see you next time. Thank you.